The only thing that I can remember. This lady had a bag under her arm, and she was going after my wife. Inspector Stevenson, I spoke to the captain, which is the inspector of this church, Amadullah. I spoke to him. He was at a wedding. I went through all of the chain of command to make sure that this lady was arrested. I went through all of the chain of command to make sure that they had the proper information to arrest this young lady, both of them. Nobody arrested them. They told me that the detectives was coming, okay? The detective came. Her name was Francois, Detective Francois. And I'm filing a complaint against her. Because she was the one that gave the order to illegally arrest me. She didn't ask me no questions. She didn't ask the victim. She didn't ask my church no questions. She came on the scene. She had a conversation with the police officers, and she turned around and said, arrest her. Now, let's go back. My minister, once these ladies started to disturb my church, my ministers went downstairs to the offices, and they were sleeping. Okay? They were sleeping. She went downstairs, they were sleeping. And she said, come upstairs, there's a problem. Okay? And the problem was going on. And when I pushed the lady outside of the door, the officers was coming upstairs, and they went right in their hand. However, if they wasn't sleeping, then they would have been able to understand what's going on. I just also posted on my page the women that created this disturbance to show the world that this was all premeditated. It was all premeditated. And what they say was, they spoke to the NYPD and they asked them, are you protecting Bishop Whitehead? And they laughed and said no. They said no. But if you're the NYPD and they're asking you questions about me and I was just robbed, wouldn't you do some investigation on it? And I specifically spoke to the police officers before I went upstairs and told them, okay, you guys, make sure you come up and do your rounds. They never did a round. They never did anything. The same police that was there to protect me was the ones that arrested me. I have knots on my arms because of the handcuffs, and I felt like my father. I felt they was taking my rights away, and to be honest with you, I really didn't care about anything at this point, because like I told the police officer, I said, I advocate for you guys. I bring the community together with you guys, and I say, let's trust the NYPD. But now, how can I say, let the community trust you if I don't trust you? So they arrested me for nothing. I didn't hit nobody, which I could have to defend my family. You charged at my wife and my 10-month-old baby. And how am I arrested? So Miss Francois, Detective Francois, came on the scene and ordered my arrest without having no, and I was put right here in the the 69th precinct. Well, okay, so I was treated like a criminal. So I went from the pulpit to the cell for no reason. The New York Police Department failed me and failed my church. They failed me and failed my church. They were supposed to protect me, and they arrested me. If I was a priest, if I was a Caucasian priest, it would have never happened with my and I understand I don't look like a bishop. I understand I don't look like a pastor. At the end of the day, why do I have to change my style in order to get this alive later on? I believe that the NYPD do not believe me up. And I've heard this from the NYPD, and I'm not going to say any names. What's going around in the NYPD is Bishop Whitehead set this robbery up. They staged it. So now, why would they respect me in my church if they feel that I'm a criminal? I'm a black man, so automatically I'm a criminal, right? So going through the NYPD, and it's verified, they believe that I set it up. So until they see, I guess, these criminals that when they get caught and they see that they're arrested and I have nothing to do with it and I'm the victim, then I want my apology. Because the NYPD, the media have set up, a platform to believe that I'm not a victim, I'm a villain. Because I'm African American. I want to have a conversation with the commissioner. I'm not talking to nobody else. I want to have a conversation with the commissioner. And everybody knows that Mayor Adams is my mentor. Y'all done scared him away. I haven't spoken to him. The media scared him away. I haven't spoken to him at all. The governor, I haven't spoken to her. Nobody has called me. But I guarantee you if I was a rabbi, I guarantee you if I was a priest, and I guarantee you if there was some gang violence, that's when they called me. That's when they all called me. That's when all of the politicians called me. Hey, Bishop Whitehead, I know you have relationships with the street. How can you help us? So everybody want to use me and abuse me, but yet I go from the pulpit to the prison cell because I had to protect my family. And then they come and say, Bishop, we're sorry. All the charges are void, and we're letting you out. After my shoestrings are out, after my belt is out, after the process of me being booked has already been done, you're gonna say I'm sorry? What was the reason for arresting me? You were supposed to protect me. So the reason why I'm having this press conference is for my family, for my friends, and for the world to understand that the NYPD has made a grave mistake. And they're going to respect Bishop Lamar Whitehead. I don't care if they don't like me. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But you're going to have to respect me. And there was untold amount of community affairs officers who I respect. Called me and asked me and apologized on the behalf of the NYPD because they know my work. They know what I do. And I want my name to be known in a great way, not a criminal way. And I want the media to stop criminalizing me, right? You guys say that I was convicted of identity theft. True. Scheme to defraud. True. All of that. Well, let's talk about how the DA had to resign because he was under federal indictment. Why? Because he was manipulating my case. We're all manipulating. And we're going through the process with that. Why don't we give that story? Why don't we give that story? Why don't we show you the search warrant that don't even have a judge's name? It just has a stamp. Judge name that they used to execute. Let's talk about how they went all the way to Jersey because I'm a black man. But all the media wants to talk about nobody wants to talk about, but how did I get that feather? How did I get it? So I want a public apology from the NYPD. I'm calling on Mayor Adams and I'm calling on the governor of the state of New York to have a meeting with them. I want to meet with the powers that be. Don't ask me to do anything community until y'all meet with me. And I'm going to keep pushing this because y'all illegally detained me because I'm a black man. That's the only reason why they did it. That's the only reason why they did it. There's no other reason why they did it. I did nothing wrong. How do I call the police and the police that I call arrest me? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And at the end of the day, they brought back memories of how they killed my father, and to see my babies, to see the church, my church babies, look and cry because they was arresting their pastor for nothing. They can't get those memories out of their head no more. So what is the NYPD going to do now? What is the NYPD going to do now? Everybody want to come and try to of my name right now. Frivolous lawsuit. The media talks about how I stole something from a parishioner. She was never a parishioner and I didn't steal anything. That's why the case, the first part of it was dismissed. And if y'all do your research, you'll see that my attorney has already filed the entire thing to be dismissed. So that's the legal piece to that. But the media perpetrates me as a villain. I took from an old lady. I did this. I did that. Those are all lies. And I want the world to understand who Bishop Whitehead is. I'm a young black man that first loved the Lord.
Amen.
And I love my community. And if you ask all of these young men, if you ask all these young men, what have I done? You can go throughout Brooklyn, throughout New York City, talk to the community affairs, ask them what I do. I just gave away $25,000 in back to school and cookies. I shut the whole store down. Every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, I give away thousands of either toys or turkeys. I don't get no money from nobody. But yet they tell me I'm robbing the church. No, I'm in real estate. I have my doctorate in real estate. I can't do real estate. You talk about my Fendi. I can't wear Fendi. I can't wear Louis Vuitton. Why? Why? Why can't I? So now I'm everyone's arch nemesis because of the picture that you guys portray. So I wanted to just have this press conference to expose injustice. And when I tell you I really supported the NYPD, like I speak to them so much and we talk and we plan things because I feel that I have to do that because there's some really good people in NYPD, right? Very good people. I have a lot of friends in NYPD. But I feel that I had to do it because of what NYPD did to my father, right? So I wanted to bridge the gap because I'm supposed to be angry. Y'all took my father away from me. Y'all killed him for a ticket that wasn't even his. It was my uncle's ticket. And he came up and they said the nigga got a gun. It was a licensed gun in his holster. And y'all choked him to death. So I felt it was my duty to make amends with the NYPD and work with them. We won with them until today, until yesterday, where they turned their back on me, where they treated me like a criminal. If I did something wrong, then I gotta face the consequences. But I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong, and y'all threw me in the police car against my will and injustice. So I know you have questions. I know you guys have questions.
I'm just wondering, do you know those women that came in at all? Have you seen them before?
I've never seen them before in my life. As one of the actual young lady that was arrested, I give free real estate classes to the community. Classes that will cost $5,000. I give it for free. So I set up a Zoom and I teach it. I've been teaching it for the last 3 years. And she claims that she was on a real estate class. So I actually helped her. I don't know her. But I do know that she was saying that her mentor is Larry Reed. And they're connected with this guy Jive. And I hate saying their name because nobody really care about, but that's what they're doing. They need this publicity. Larry Reed and another guy by the name of King Jive, J-I-V-E. And if y'all look on their pages, you're going to see them interviewing these girls. The whole thing was set up. So I don't know them. I've never seen, outside of what she's saying that she was on my real estate class, I don't remember her. But I don't know them.
It's really hard to find the video. What were they saying to you? As they came to the church, what were they down?
Oh yeah, she was cussing me out. liar, you this, you that. She was calling me she called me every name in the and I allowed her to watching and let her talk. And let her talk. And everybody's saying that everybody's to the truth that I did not. That's what my prayer. I said, come on up here. I said, okay. Uncle Green and disrespecting me. I said, okay. All right. Okay. You finished? And then my church. I said, let's start praying against this demon. Okay, let's start praying. And that's when you in my church and walk back and then beeline grab her. But now all of the women are saying that I abused a woman. My grandmother, who's 107, my older sister, I don't abuse women. You know, so everybody's looking at me as an abuse. I don't abuse. Then she has a scratch on her. She did that on her own. I grabbed her shoulder and the back of her shirt. That was it. I didn't grab no flesh. And I pushed her out. And I have the video. And actually, if you go on the Larry Reed page, he posted it. That's why they have so many videos that nobody else had. Because it was a setup. It was a setup. And we need to be able to do something about these clout chasers, the ones that target men like myself, influencers like myself. How do they keep coming to church? This is the church. If you don't like me, cuss me out outside. The robbers came in my church. Everybody feel that they can come into the church. So now the NYPD has to now do something about this because I don't want no copycat crimes. All right? And if everybody's hearing that the police locked me up and I wasn't in the wrong, then anybody can come into my church and curse me out and say what they want to say. So the NYPD has to clean this up. The commissioner, I'm calling on the commissioner, let's have a meeting. If you don't want to have a meeting, no problem. No problem. Okay? But I'm calling on the commissioner to have a meeting with me. I'm calling on the mayor to have a meeting with me. Ain't no friends attached. It's the bishop. I don't care about no friends. It's the bishop. I need to talk to you as the bishop. And I need the governor to talk. Because when it's time for voting, guess what? Mr. Whitehead, can you endorse me? Oh, I get that all the time with all of the politicians. Right? What's your question?
No.
Any other questions before I go? Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Yes, I'm going to post another video on my Facebook and my Instagram where you guys can see the entire shebang.
I'm just reaching to the straight.
Yes. You good? You know how you wear me out sometimes. Yeah, you wear me out. Recognition. That's what they. Hey, thank you. King John. Thank you so much.